Oops. Okay, Namaskar everybody. Welcome to Nitya Satsang. Today is the 19th of December 2025. We'll start with the beginning shlokas. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakarishu Sarvada. Om Ganganapate Namaha. Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Deva Maheshwaraha Guru Deva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Sarva Mangala Mangalle Shive Sarvartha Sadike Sharanye Trambake Devi Narayani Namostute. या देवी सर्वभूतेषु महालक्ष्मी रूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः ओम ऐं ह्रीं क्लीं चामुण्डायै विच्चे स्वाहा ओम श्रीं ह्रीं श्रीं कमले कमलाले प्रसीद प्रसीद ओम श्रीं ह्रीं श्रीं श्री महालक्ष्मे नमः ओम नमो नारायणाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय Om Namah Shivaya, Shri Sadgurubhyo Namaha, Shri Hanumate Namaha. Welcome to Nitya Satsang. Today is the 19th of December 2025. I want to offer my prostrations to all the great sages and to Bhagavan, residing in the heart of every single being. We are continuing to examine, to continue from yesterday, the Atma Tattva. Please remember that the word Tattva means actual reality, actual substance. Actually, the word tattva means substance. But that word is used with regards to the objects of the world. For example, we say Prithvi tattva, Jal tattva, Vayu tattva, right? Tattva means substance. If you go to chemistry class, you see all these different elements. These are called tattvas. But the Atma, Chaitanya Atma, the consciousness, it is not a physical tattva, the way we understand this word tattva. The Chaitanyam, again, it can never be described. It can never even be thought about. Now here's the problem. Now look at the fact. It cannot be described. Any description is inadequate. It cannot be thought about. It cannot be conceptualized. I mean, we can conceptualize it, but the concepts about the Atma are not the Atma. The only thing we can say about the Atma is to realize it. And one who realizes it can never describe it. Even if you try to describe it, it'll never be adequate. Why is that? Well, we must understand what Vedanta teaches us, what the Gita teaches us. As we mentioned yesterday, you remember the phrase from yesterday that Avinashi tu tad vidhi yena sarvamidam tatam, verse 17, chapter 2. The Gita teaches us that we are Avinashi. Avinashi means never created, never destroyed. Creation, sustenance, and destruction are part of the realm of Prakriti, within the nature. Everything that we see, everything that is in our experience in the natural world, it came from somewhere, it had some beginning point, it has some sustenance point, it has a destruction or it changes. Although matter never changes its essence, it always remains. No tattva is ever destroyed. It can contract, it can expand, it can change form, but the tattvas themselves are not destroyed ever. They don't turn into nothingness. They can be contracted and be unexpressed. This is the realm of physics and chemistry and astronomy and subatomic particles and all of that. Right? So this is, Tattva Gnyan is at two different levels. One level is this realm of the university subjects. Chemistry, physics, biochemistry, all of that. Hard sciences. We can get degrees in all those things. This is one level of tattva. And that knowledge is in the Upanishad is called apara vidya. So if you're taking notes, you can write some of these points down. Apara. Apara means not transcendental. That which is known through the senses. This is called apara vidya, including psychology, sociology, neuroscience, brain science. Everything is apara vidya. Because it is known through the senses. Astronomy, looking at the galaxies and all that. It is completely apara vidya. So the Upanishad makes a distinction between paravidya and apara. So this is where our journey really begins, to first be clear about these two domains of knowledge, or vidya. Vidya means gnan, wisdom, knowledge, truth. All of those words could be into the word vidya. It also means information, but vidya means really wisdom in that sense. Gnan. So, apara vidya is what we study in the universities. Yes. But there is a border there. They can only go so far. They cannot reach the Atma. No amount of philosophy, religious studies, or intellectual analysis is going to produce the realization of Atma Tattva. When we say Atma Tattva, we are referring to that reality, that realization that is beyond the flux of the body and the mind. Because the body is a flux, it is a fluctuation, it is there for some time and then it will go. The body is the product of biochemical reactions. It is the product of the genetic code, 46 chromosomes. And so is the brain. It is a product of that. And the mind, Sukshma Sharir, is a little different matter. That is coming with the Jivatma in reincarnation cycle. The Atma is not the Sukshma Sharir, but the Sukshma Sharir, and it's really the Karana Sharir that expresses as Sukshma Sharir, that is continuously connected to the Jivatma, to the Atma Tattva. That is why it is called Jivatma. And that goes from lifetime to lifetime. That is carried. That's what creates the next body. When that Sukshma Sharir is purified, synchronized, harmonized, back into the Atma Tattva, its complete manovritti, the Antakarana Vritti is synchronized back, is aligned completely into the Atma Tattva, then there's no more rebirth. The rebirth cycle stops. Every great Acharya has talked about this point, and this is obviously, it is a very great realization. It is realization of who am I. The I, when we say I, aham, that is not referring to the I, the personality, the ego, I, the Sachin, not that I. That is the psychological, psychodynamic I, that the field of psychology studies deeply in personality psychology. If you go to any psychology department, bachelor's level or more, they have courses in personality psychology. Our personality, we have a personality. That's not who we are, actually. That is a layer, just like this body, maleness, femaleness, our individual identity, personality. These are layers that are imposed on the Atma. The Atma is not any of these things. For example, you're seeing this face, this body right now. I'm seeing it on Zoom. Is that me? That is a physical body. That's not me. The physical body is made out of 24 tattvas. In Vedanta, it is classified that way. That's not who we are. That is given to us, given to the Atma for experience of Maya. And that is necessary. Otherwise, there's no way to reach द ब्रह्म धाम, गोलोक धाम, वैकुंठ धाम, अक्षर धाम, ये जो भगवान का जो realm है, we cannot reach that realm until Maya is expressed. So when Maya is expressed, these bodies are created. Amazing. थोड़ा technical बात है, but explain it anyway. It's something, if you don't understand it right away, ask me about it. We can go into it more detail. But in simpler, थोड़ा तत्वज्ञान थोड़ा समझना चाहिए इसमें क्या होता है, what exactly happens. Where did all these bodies come from? Where did this universe come from? Where did it all come from? So, the creation of galaxies and universes, what we see through our senses, that is only a very slight membrane. It's just a membrane of the full Brahmand. Brahmand asankhya hai, and we cannot see the full Brahmand through our senses. Doesn't matter how many space telescopes we build or how many galaxies we can see. That doesn't mean we're seeing the full Brahmand. Full Brahmand can only be seen in Samadhi. That's the only way to see the full Brahmand. And how do you see this full Brahmand? When our antakarana, now watch this point, our internal mechanism of the mind is 100% steady, stable, Shanti, and in that Shanti there is complete combination of all of the Shakti, Gnan, Ichha, Kriya, Shakti, puri combination ho gayi hai. So Shanti, Param Shanti, mind, the internal spaces, absolutely still. That is why all the Veda mantras end with Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Because the mantra is taking us to Shanti. It gives us experiences in life, cleans up everything, like we're going to do Sri Suktam today. It will remove a lot of disturbances and difficulties and problems and give us the foundations we need to reach Shanti. Shanti doesn't mean destruction of the mind. Shanti also doesn't mean simply the word peace. It is, but it's not just that. Shanti also does not mean something artificially induced stability. That's not Shanti. J. Krishnamurti distinguished this point very beautifully. A mind that is made still is a fabrication. So Veda mantras, Vedanta mantras, and the Sanatan Dharma in general, with stotras and other sadhanas, it is not about an artificial stilling of the mind. It is not, I know it might seem like that. Some people claim that, but Sachin here would humbly disagree. That's not the case. It is not an artificial, forced stilling of the mind. That would be a mind that is made silent. So that silence that is experienced when a mind is made silent is a fabricated silence. It is not the original silence that is the Param Shanti itself, that is part of, that is Brahman. No, it's not that. The mind can project silence, and that's not it. This is why Ved mantras are extremely relevant, because the Ved mantra doesn't project that silence. What does it do instead? It works directly on the physical and the subtle bodies. Physical and subtle body par iska wo act karta hai, and it in fact changes the Shakti inside the brain, inside the spinal cord, inside the mind, and entire system. It realigns the internal frequency of the mind, brain, body. The Shakti is aligned to resonate with the Atma Tattva, Brahma Tattva. That resonance is Shanti. That is why every Veda mantra ends with Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Why 3 times? Because of the 3 bodies. Physical, subtle, causal. Isme wo shant ban gaye. They are not made silent artificially. The Veda mantra is only Paramatma. Bhagavat Tattva hai wo. Veda mantra, Shakti mantra. These mantras are the Parabrahma Tattva, Parameshwari Tattva itself. But it is in the sound form. So the mantra works on all 11 physiological systems of the body. Namah Shivaya mantra, for example, Veda ka mantra hai. Shri Suktam, we're going to do that today at 10 o'clock. That is Veda mantra. Om Aim Reem Klim Chamundai Viche Swaha. This may be in the Vedas, I have to double check that, but this is definitely a Shakti mantra. It is a Tantric mantra. Tantra, nothing to be afraid of. The Tantra simply means it is working directly on the energy to integrate. And then it connects, uska bhi connection hai Veda mantra ke saath. So they are not contradictory, they are complementary. Tantra ke jo mantra hai and Ved ke jo mantra hai, they are complementary. But that's another subject. I won't go into that right now. That's a more detailed understanding of this. Both work in harmony. And both are needed. That's why we say Aim Bij mantra. Aim Bij mantra Mahasaraswati Devi ka Tantra ka mantra hai ye. You see, Tantra, people get afraid of this word. Tantra doesn't nothing to be afraid of. It just means to weave together, stitch together. That's all that word means. But people use Shakti in wrong way, then that gets a bad name. Shakti can be, because nothing is without Shakti. You start using it in a negative way, misuse, abuse. And people say, Sab Tantric Upasana. Tantric Upasana, everything is Tantra Upasana. Our whole life is Tantra actually. Nothing is other than that. Because it is energy. If we don't have energy, nothing is possible. We cannot even chant the Veda mantra unless you have Shakti. How is possible? And Tantra means to combine together. And this word, by the way, in Vachanamrut is also used. Many Swaminarayan devotees don't know all this thing. But it is used only one time in Vachanamrut. And Maharaj explained it beautifully. He said, Vasudev Bhagwane Shastranu Tantra Kari. Tantra means what? He weaved it together, pulled it together. That's called Tantra. This Dharma, Jnana, Vairagya, Bhakti, combining that together. Ek bijani apeksha hai. This is called Tantra. Anytime you stitch concepts and ideas and your own internal broken energies are stitched together, that is called Tantra. That is its essential nature. And the Aim Bij mantra is Sachin's humble recommendation. You don't need any other mantra as far as Tantra. You can have other mantras. Isme completely everything is there. Mahasaraswati Devi ka Bij mantra, isme sab kuch aa gaya. It will stitch everything together. It is like, it is like a surgeon who has to open the chest or open some part of the body to remove the cancerous cells, to remove the disease, to remove the certain kind of malignancy from the body, and then has to stitch back together again. And then it has to heal again. Isn't that so? What is that? This is Tantra Sadhana. All the surgeries that are done in medical science, wo Tantra hi hai. But it is medical Tantra, that's all. Because they're stitching back together all the broken pieces, removing what doesn't belong. That removal of what doesn't belong is also done by the mantras. Mantra sadhana and other kinds of sadhana are done to remove what doesn't belong. It is separating the purified Divya Shakti from the mixed up, the same Shakti that has gotten mixed up inside Rajogun, Tamogun, Sattvagun, Malin Sattvagun it is called. It is all mixed up and confabulated. Then you get Rag, Dvesh, Klesh, Doshas, Shadripu, everything that is the problems of what we call entanglements of Maya. When we separate Shakti out of that, that Shakti is Shuddha Shakti, and that same Shakti when it is used for Veda mantra and it is used for upasana of Paramatma, it becomes Divya Shakti. That Divya Shakti is Bhakti. Bhakti is the target. Amazing. But until we understand these linkages, first understand them clearly. I know I'm speaking a little fast sometimes, but I'm trying just not to do that. But that's why the recordings, I'm trying to record these and put them on every day. My humble request is for you to take notes, listen to these ideas again, make your own notes, ask questions, see what's not clear, get it clear. 100% clarity has to be there. It is called Shuddha Jnana on all of these points. Jivan iske liye. Jivan is not to be wasted or thrown around in trash activities. Yeah, we need to know about the world and whatnot. We don't need to watch 8 hours of Netflix or 8 hours of news and all that. It's all trash baat hai. It'll make our buddhi dull. To some extent, balancing is necessary. Yes, we're not rejecting anything. But to spend enough time with curiosity, jignasa, that I want to understand. But once we start the path of understanding, of jnana, it has to be 100% understanding. It cannot be 99%. Pura jnana hona chahiye. Now, why does that help us? Because as jnana increases, there is going to be more shanti, more clarity, more vision. Our decisions are better. So I've heard many people say over the years, many of them, ye kya shastra ki baat? Why we have to understand all this? I said, okay, don't understand. Keep staying in the mud. That's all. Stay inside, drown in the mud. What else you want to do? You want to drown in the mud of the sunset? Stay there. What else is there? We have been given a buddhi, we have been given intelligence to study shastras, to understand the scriptures, to make our life better, to have jnana. Some people say jnana marg mein kya abhi what too much analysis, too much this, too much that. How much analysis we're doing of all of this worldly life? We don't get tired of doing that. We get very quickly tired of scriptural study because we have not gone in that path. We have the capacity to use the buddhi for scriptural study, for understanding the spiritual path clearly. Aur kya karna hai jeevan mein? Once things are in order, enough food, water, clothing, shelter, money is there, everything is there where it should be. What's next? I mean, what is next? Is there anything next? Or just Vishay Bhogi karna hai? How far that will take anybody? What's next? What is next is Brahma Vidya, this Para Vidya. That is next. So when we realize that, no, I want to understand and understand clearly. Now, obviously, one has to be careful of the ego. One should not say, I've understood everything. Nobody has understood everything. Nobody should claim they have understood everything. Always be a lifelong learner, student. Shishya bhav mein rehna. To keep learning, to keep growing. The moment anybody says, I have understood everything, kitna agni, nobody understands everything. Bhagwan anante, Bhagwan ki shakti anante. That is human ego. And even with Jnana, even if there is lot of wisdom, knowledge, that is a support for bhakti. Ye bhi dhyan rakhna. Even though one keeps growing with knowledge, grow with knowledge. But why? Because that is going to enhance our antarik ananda, antarik anubhav opens. Anubhav mein jana hai, just not. Sachin can present thousands of concepts. You can write them all down and study them and understand them. Okay, I mean, that itself is great. But then what? I mean, what's next? It's not what's next. While doing that, Bhagwan ki bhakti, prem, that bhakti is the target. This knowledge and wisdom and understanding is a support to protect bhakti. Jnana is a protection for bhakti. This is today's sutra. Today's Vachanamrut ka siddhant hai. All Narad Bhakti Sutra, Shandilya Sutra, Srimad Bhagavatam, Vishnu Sahasranam, every major scripture, Lalita Sahasranam, Shiv Sahasranam, Kali Sahasranam, Bhakti Rasamrut Sindhu, उज्जवल नीलामणि वैष्णवों के बहुत ऊपर लेवल का शास्त्र है. इसका सारांश क्या है? What is the saransh? Means quintessence, that the jnana that is developing. Sachin is humbly asking all of you to write down concepts and whatnot. Even the recordings that are made, we analyze them and get them, so that we can expand, we can share with each other. But that jnana means first of all information, but then it really means internal vision, drishti. Jnana drishti. Jnana is drushti. Drushti means clear vision. Just the change in vision, that is called jnana. Jnana is not something physical. Jnana is a change in vision. Just like if you are studying chemistry in the Chemistry 101 class, by the time the semester ends, the vision of the same laboratory, same substances, same the whole the textbook, the whole vision has changed because it is open from inside. What was there on day one, the same book is there on this last day. But now we can say, oh, I understand. I'm an A+ student, understand every concept. Now I'm ready for more. That's an A++ student. Doesn't miss a single point. But we have a choice. Sachin is telling Sachin, I'm not telling any of you. Is Sachin going to be A+ student in Brahma Vidya? Chalega, thoda satsang karte, thodi baaton karte. Who cares? What difference does it make? I'm not getting any money for this. We think of everything in terms of money, unfortunately. We think of everything in terms of money. What am I going to get for this? This is how human beings live, and they die like that also. They cannot think of anything other than that, unfortunately. They think of what I'll get from somebody. That's it. Relationships are like this. Work is like that. Yeah, we have transactional, no doubt. But Brahma Vidya is not getting something from someone. It's not a business transaction. और ये मंदिरों में जो charge करते हैं for this पूजन अर्चन, ये तो महा अज्ञान है. You could never charge anybody for these things. They should have some donation scheme available, make it free for everybody. How can you charge somebody for doing a puja? Ridiculous. That is against the Vedic tradition. Totally against it. I can prove it to you. In the Vedic tradition, in the ancient times, Rishi Muni are sitting in their Sant ashram. They're not charging anybody to do pujan or anything like that. This is a total distortion. It prevents realization of God the moment you charge somebody. This is the concept of dakshina, not charge. Dakshina is given freely from the heart to the one who is doing the puja archana. This is a different subject. Kitna distortion ho gaya hai. You can say we are asking for donations for these things, but you cannot charge somebody for a pujan, archan, havan, none of those things. Adhyatmik sadhana ke liye. Bilkul nahi. The moment a charge is there, it destroys the spirituality. Sorry, apologies for anybody doing that. Aapki ichha. Sanatan dharma ka ye siddhant nahi hai. Bilkul nahi. That concept of an exchange of money for pujan, archan, havan, for whatever it is, for any kind of adhyatmik sadhana, this is not Vedic tradition. Bilkul nahi. It damages the Vedic tradition by doing this. And it damages the sadhana of the person doing the pujan archan. I have spoken to many pandits and pujaris throughout this country. Many will say to me, Sachin, You are right. And we should not be charging anybody anything. ये पैसे के लिए नहीं करना चाहिए. I have heard this from the very great masters. It's not a business transaction. So these points are necessary to understand how to clean up the Sanatan Dharma. We have to clean it up ourselves. Nobody else is going to clean it up for us. All these different divisions that are there between sampradayas, that's causing a lot of confusion. See, the reason for all of this is because of ahankar. I and me, I want something from you. The moment Sachin says, I want something from somebody, finish. Game over. The moment Sachin feels I'm better than somebody, game over. The moment Sachin feels I know more than you, I'm better than you, game over. Bhagwan ke that doorway into that Paramatma gets closed. That is how to close that doorway. Amazing. If you look at in reality, what is the Atma Tattva? Atma Tattva to Maha Anand hai. And again, please be careful. I'm telling myself only. We don't want to take fault with anybody. But the reality is the reality. We cannot escape from the reality. जो सत्य बात है, सनातन धर्म की जो सत्य बात है, that should be presented. Not because Sachin is saying this is satya. I can show you the history behind it. Even we use this word dakshina, right? Is that word used anywhere else? When we go to a grocery store or some other place, do we use that word? No, it is only used for adhyatmic sadhana. And it is given by the individual from their heart, from their circumstances. There can never, under any circumstances, be a charge for a puja. पूजा अर्चना हवन कीर्तन मनन चिंतन सत्संग कार्य के लिए कभी भी नहीं चार्ज नहीं होना चाहिए. The moment there is charge, you have killed the spirituality, totally destroyed it. And the person doing the charging and benefiting is going to be in trouble. Doesn't matter how many Ved mantras they have chanted over their years. It means nothing. It goes to zero, literally to zero. That is not the Vedic tradition. The Rishi Munis did intense sadhana for the benefit of the world. They never wanted anything from this sansar. And there are saints like that today. This is real Sanatan Dharma. Not because of Sachin. Forget Sachin. Sachin is nothing. There's no issue of Sachin. ये सत्य जो है वो देखना चाहिए. Do you know, charging and all that is one thing. Scriptures have been written. Ancient scriptures. The rishis have not put their name at the end. Today we write one small thing. We want to put our name in 10 different places. We need to some extent, Even I have to put my name for these presentations and all that. That's just a functional thing. But the fact is, to go beyond the ahankar, beyond the fear. It's fear, nothing other than that. How will this run? How will this happen? How will that happen? It will happen. Find another way. You see, this is the way it goes. Those who have become enlightened, they have become enlightened because of two main qualities. Akhanda seva, unbroken seva. Akhanda bhakti. And in that sthiti, unki sthiti, by seeing the sthiti, automatically what is needed in their life comes. And it's not easy. Some saints have suffered a lot. They don't ask anything from anybody. It's extremely difficult. It's a totally crazy baat hai that write so much money for my organization. Some sadhu doing that. Out. Cancel that out. That's not spiritual. Sometimes they do it because not for themselves, because they have to run an organization. That's a different matter. But in reality, this is very dangerous. इसमें से कंपटीशन होती है, इसमें से बहुत, in Vedaras में लिखा है, Vedaras, भगवान स्वामीनारायण, he's talking about the misuse of Mahalakshmi. 15 misuses are listed there. Unbelievable. ये real अध्यात्म है. अभी किस शब्द में बताएंगे और किसको, who is in this is Kali Yuga. People are looking for finance. They're looking to get something from someone. It's fear-based religion. not love-based religion. And when you have fear-based religion and money is involved in that, it's crashed. Completely crashed. Gnan Shakti, Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti ka crash ho gaya. That's not spirituality. That's not bhakti. That is not seva. That is fear. And what does Bhagavan Krishna teach us? Abhayam sattva sanshuddhi. He starts in chapter 16. All the divine qualities. And the first one is Abhayam, be fearless. And it is that fearlessness from inside, which is not ego. It is an intense coming together of all of the energies within. And it is only a person who is fearless can do bhakti. And when we become fearless by Purna Ashray, by Purna Sharanagati, by loving all, bringing that internal state, that is when the readiness is there for Atma Darshan. When we see the world today, the churches, temples, mosques, gurudwaras, mandir, itne sampradaya, this is only on the surface. It is just a very superficial membrane. It's good. It's a good starting point. But most of all of this is conflicted. Upanishad crashes that out, throws it out. Come to Vasudeva Kutumbakam, antar mein se aisi bhavna. This is called Paramahansa. What is the definition of Paramahansa? What is the definition of great saint? Saint is not by clothing and all that. Sthiti, mukta sthiti. Hamare aisi bhav hai in Vasudeva Kutumbakam? It's like asking, what religion does water belong to? What religion does the sun belong to? What race does land belong to? When we go to grocery stores, is it only for certain people? Food is for everybody. Vasudeva Kutumbakam. Ishavasyamidam sarvam. Purnamadaha Purnamidam. These are all mantras from Upanishad. Are Upanishad Hindu? Kitni murkhta to say such a thing that Upanishads are Hindu scripture. Ye maha apman hai Upanishad ka. It's not the Sanatan Dharma to use this kind of language. And those who want to reach Mukta Sthiti have to remove completely all of that which is not reality. This is what Shankaracharya Ji is teaching us. Is Shankaracharya Ji Hindu? Is he South Indian? Is he North Indian? What nonsense is this? It's utter nonsense to put these saints in these boxes. Kitni murkhta hai. And that has to be eliminated from the inside. If it is not eliminated, then the Maya is catching tremendously, even in the spiritual, so-called spiritual domain, religious domain. Like take Swaminarayan Sampradaya. Is it a Sampradaya that is a Gujarati Sampradaya? Kitna murkh, kitna apman hai ye Bhagwan ka, to even say such a thing. Is Jesus a Christian? Is Jesus just for Christianity? These are the things to be eliminated the elimination of division is the absolute foundation for Jivan Mukta Sthiti and for Bhakti. Without that, there cannot be Jivan Mukta Sthiti. Baki sab kuch mil sakta hai. Name, fame, big temples, big God knows what, Lots of scriptures can be written, commentaries can be written, big professorships can be given. God knows what. Material world में बहुत कुछ मिलता है. ब्रह्म विद्या नहीं मिलेगी. ब्रह्म ज्ञान नहीं मिलेगा. ब्रह्म का अनुभव ही नहीं होगा. Impossible. As long as there is superiority and inferiority, there's divisiveness with anybody, with anything, with any being, there cannot be realization of Brahman. Impossible. 108 Upanishad ये बात बताते हैं. 700 verses of the Gita ये बात बताते हैं. 555 Brahma Sutra ये बात बताते हैं. Now why is it so hard? It's not hard, in fact. It is the most straightforward satyam that is right in front of us. Prem. That's it. Ahankar chhod do. Let that go. There's love. There's love. What? Marriage is a business transaction? Pujan Archan is a business transaction? Out of the ahankar, out of the ego? Raising children is a business transaction? Our buddhi has made everything into a business transaction. I did so much for you. I raised my daughter. I raised my son. I did all this thing. What you should do all this for me. And the person is not acting the way they should be. They're doing whatever they want to do. We are unhappy. We're stuck inside. We get upset. We get this and that. Prem doesn't have any expectation. Yeah, there may be some functional expectation. Usko jo karna hai karo. Prem kiya hai, don't expect anything. The moment we put expectations and then they are not fulfilled and we become unhappy, we're trapped. See, we have to eliminate. Can we eliminate every obstacle from inside for akhanda ananda? Ye baat dhyan mein rakhna. And one has to be careful. Even Sachin is saying these things. I'm just trying to point out with humility and hope if the mistakes are made, then may God forgive me and give me the right intelligence. Trying to point out what is the divya shuddha sanatana dharma. Baki jisko jo karna hai wo karo. हमारे किसके साथ कुछ भी लेना देना नहीं है. पर जो सत्य बात है वो परम तत्व शास्त्रों की बात है, संत परंपरा की बात है. Can you just imagine this for a moment? Ramakrishna Paramahansa is sitting with 20-30 people and he said, I will teach you Brahma Vidya. I'll charge you 100 rupees. Have you ever heard that before? Kitna insult है to even think like that. To even think like that. Do you think he would do such a thing? Is this some kind of a business transaction? This is what religion and spirituality have become throughout the world. It has become a business transaction. And that's why you cannot realize God. Impossible. There's no chance of realizing God when it's a business transaction. The only way has to be seva. Yeah, obviously money is needed and all that. It is needed. There's other ways to go about it without making it into a business transaction. There's a lot of other ways. You can have certain donors and set up donation schemes, no doubt. But don't charge anybody. भगवान के मंदिरों में भगवान की पूजा के लिए, अर्चना के लिए, सत्संग के लिए, प्रसाद के लिए कभी भी चार्ज नहीं होना चाहिए. This is Sachin's strict opinion. If you disagree, आपकी इच्छा. आप देखो आपके गुरु के साथ. प्रसाद के लिए कभी भी चार्ज नहीं होना चाहिए. Never, and not under any circumstances. It destroys the power of prasadam. Anybody who comes to the mandir, and what if the person doesn't have any money? Are you going to say that I'm not going to give you a small laddu or some khichdi or prasadam because you don't have money? That is not Sanatan Dharma at all. Ye Sanatan Dharma ka apman hai. To do this kind of thing. This is absolutely unacceptable. No Hindu temple or what we call Hindu mandir should have any charge for prasadam at all. Bilkul nahi. Maybe offer one small laddu to everybody, but don't charge for it. Maybe offer one piece of sugar candy, but don't charge for it. The moment you charge somebody for prasadam, that is the moment that prasadam ka effect completely zero ho jata hai. That is not prasadam. I'm sorry to say this. This is the fact. Ye satya baat hai. This is how, even there are mandirs today, abhi bahut aise mandir hai, wo kabhi bhi charge nahi karte. And there are temples also, they will not give you anything without charging. करना है जो करना है वो करो. आप भगवान के साथ देख लेना. भगवान का जो प्रसाद है किसी भी फॉर्म में इसका चार्ज कभी भी नहीं होता. Impossible. This is Sanatan Dharma. I don't know why these thoughts are coming into my mind today. Somehow that's just in my mind. When we talk about the Atma Tattva, Brahma Tattva, why the obstacles are there? Because when love is going to flow, There is no division with anybody. You know, in Gujarat, I'll close with this. Some of you know this. Virpur एक amazing place. इसमें कैसे, the history behind it, you may not, you can look it up on YouTube. Virpur, it's called. Jalaram Baba. Jalaram was a great devotee 250 years back. राम जी के भक्त थे वो. और उनके हार्ट में यही था कि ये सब poor, poverty, famine, this, that, अन्न क्षेत्र ओपन करना है. He started cooking food, he and his wife and some people, and started distributing, not charging anybody. Do you know that place, what it is like right now? It's unbelievable. The amount of food that comes over there, it's nobody even knows where it comes from. और उनकी इतनी साधना थी राम जी की, इतनी भक्ति थी, because we had one pure saint. इनके हार्ट में यही था कि किसी का, nobody should be hungry. Think about this. And look at what happened. The flooding of food is there. They have put signs there, don't donate any more food. Do not give any donation here. They have to put signs there now. And those signs have been there for many years. Why? Because the heart of a saint has Shakti of Paramatma that doesn't have this transactional nonsense. Any place that does not have transactional, this I will charge you for it, it will blast open, grow open. You will see religious organizations that grow tremendously because they don't charge anybody for food. Religious organizations that don't grow that much because they charge for food. Dekhna, you will see. It changes the spiritual dynamic. Spirituality is not a business transaction. Not at all. और ब्रह्मानंद में जाना है, इसमें तो दो ही बात चाहिए, अखंड प्रेम, अखंड सेवा. And when that is there, automatically Mahalakshmi herself comes. There's a phrase written by Narsiya Mehta from Gujarat. Lakshmi ji mara santani dasi re. Lakshmi ji comes with hands folded in front of the enlightened saints. What do you want me to do? ये सत्य बात है. This is the reality of Adhyatma. And when we understand these concepts in our family life, that we want to do only seva for family, आनंद की प्राप्ति होती है इसमें. किसी का अवगुण नहीं लेना, किसी के साथ मांगना नहीं कुछ. What can I do for everybody? Not what everybody can do for me. That is called dasatva bhakti. That is called seva. And when we are living in that way, Radha and Krishna will come dancing in front of us. Let's stop here for now. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurumedeva Sarvakareshu Sarvada. Om Ganganapate Namaha. Om Shri Radha Krishna Namo Namaha. Om Aim Brim Klim Chamundai Viche Swaha. Durge Rakshini Tata Swaha. Alright, we'll stop here for now.